You're kidding me. Okay, like huge amount of click just to get to the area where I can like, record. There we go. Um, so I just seeing one of these bullshitting videos again, and standing for the Fakestinians, and so much bullshit. Let's see if I can find it again. Apparently, so many tabs open. So that's a good question where it is. Good question. Was it in another browser maybe? I'm not even sure where X's of Evil. No. I wonder where it was. Let's see here. Maybe some of the new ones here. Live streaming. No, that's live streaming. Let's see here. That's one of the others. That's a good question where it actually went. But anyway, so he was talking about that, that it couldn't possibly have been because, the hospital blowing up the hospital and all that. There was no hospital blowing up, It's just, oh, maybe it was Brydion, actually. I say, yeah, it's Brydion. Israel is genociding Gaza. Genociding Gaza. Anyway, so he's like, we can take a little back here, and that's the videos and all that. See if we can turn on the volume here.
70 صاروخا سقط بالفعل شكرا الياس واحدث دمارا في البنى التحتيه وفي السيارات وفي المباني العامه والخاصه. شكرا جزيلا لك الياس. That's not possible because the Hamas rockets are Qassam rockets. They don't have warheads, so there's no way it's going to blow up a hospital.
Yeah, but it didn't blow up a hospital. That's the whole point, right? But again, there was the bullshit that many of them like, oh, it leveled the whole building. Yeah, how stupid can you be? How absolutely ridiculous can you guys be in regards to not checking up on the facts? It was outside in the parking lot, 11 cars burning, one car toppled up, and all that. It just, so yeah, there was some, things on the houses that was, what do you call it? I can't remember. I tend to forget about it. Anyway, there was no building destroyed. And it's just, he says it multiple times, and it's like, oh, it couldn't be because, in regards to blowing up a hospital and all, you gotta be kidding me. It didn't blow up any hospital. And, we're showing the two videos of the thing in regards of, so this is in regards of the hospital, the episode a good amount of time ago, where they were blaming that Israel had like bombed the hospital and all that, which there was no building going down. It's just absolute bullshit.
Now there was also a piece of video footage which came out, which shows an Israeli warplane or some sort of Israeli plane above the hospital area, letting off flares in the sky.
Yeah, again, he can't even get his facts, right in regards to the hospital, right? Because it wasn't a hospital, like. So it's just, it's bullshit. Probably should just close it down. Getting sick and tired of the bullshit, Like, you can't even get the facts straight in regards of that no hospital was, no building was destroyed in regards to this. But anyway, it's so much bullshit these days. And like people are just, oh yeah, you just leveled the building and like 500, no, 700, no, 800 people just died in regards of this. Well, it was a misfire. Like there's no building was destroyed. It hit outside in regards to the parking lot and some of the green things and all that. Seven cars burned and all that, and yeah. So again, to say that just give me a break with the bullshit. And here we have another bullshit. That's a Lutheran, like attacking the Sabbath and promoting Sunday. Like it's just so stupid, Anyway, let's see here what we have. I just got tired of it. Hallelujah. Visa, MasterCard, Master, not going to work. Yerushalayim, 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 Yerushalayim. I guess. Anyway, so yeah, just you get tired of the bullshit, Just give me a break. Can't even figure out that the hospital wasn't blown up to pieces, you could understand if the hospital was like blown up to pieces, but no, it wasn't. So you want to well, they want to say this and that and all that, but there was no hospital blown to pieces. It's just disgusting. And now there's other insanities going on in regards of blaming Israel for for the killing of 7th of October. Oh, it just keeps on with the bullshit. Of course, there's, this is, it is interesting in regards of how they, that in regards to the failure of things, but Yeah. It's like you just get tired of the nonsense. I wonder if any hostages have been further released in regards to things. As far as I understand, it was like yesterday, but it seemed like that, maybe today. I don't know. So hard to figure out when you have so much bullshit out there in the world. Ooh, ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, well, it's closing for the Sabbath, I think. It's Friday today. And I did try to see if I could have one more order in regards of things, but yeah, I haven't really seen any email from it yet either. In regards of, and apparently there's some other problems in regards of not having the possibility of. Anyway, I see an order. Should be some details in regards of things. It needs to be paid before they send it, and this and that. I'm not sure I can do that on PayPal in regards of. I would like to try, but of course it's kind of hard when you. We have. Let's see what we have here. We have this guy that is kind of. Yeah.
Several things. I've followed the career of Norman Finkelstein for many years. He's notorious for having destroyed his career by, among other things, weaponizing his parents being in the Holocaust to use his career to attack Israel in particular. I think all societies produce a type of sociopath and psychopath, and I do think that Norman Finkelstein is just such a person. If I could give just one example. He repeatedly in that interview referred to Gaza as a concentration camp. Gaza is no such thing as a concentration camp, and Norman Finkelstein knows that very, very well. Every single Jew was removed from Gaza forcibly in 2005 by the Israeli government. In 2006, the people of Gaza had an election and they elected Hamas. Hamas proceeded to kill Fatah and other Palestinians who did not agree with Hamas. And if anyone is responsible for making Gaza into a prison camp, it is Hamas that uses places like the Shifa hospital as torture chambers for Palestinians. Now, here's another oddity about it. He kept saying concentration camp about Gaza. Do you, peers, know anybody who got out of a concentration camp in 1945 and proceeded to go next door and behead and rape everyone they could find? I don't. But only Norman Finkelstein finds these kinds of comparisons to make and makes them willfully. And by the way, and shame on him for this, what we just heard was Holocaust denial in real time. He pretends we don't know what happened on the 7th of October. We do know. We do know. And if he doesn't believe the reports he reads, and if he doesn't believe all the international media, he should have come with me this morning to the pathology department here in Tel Aviv, where they are still trying to work out who the bodies are that are arriving. I was standing this morning in Tel Aviv in the mortuary with the doctors who are trying to work out the identities still of the people killed that day. There is so little of some of them, peers, that they can't even extract DNA from them. There is so little of them that sometimes it turns out what was thought to be the charred remains of one person is the remains of two people. People arrive in bags, peers. They arrive in bags with little bits of what is left of their body and maybe a bit of a mobile phone. There was the skull of what I said that must be a child's skull. And one of the experts there in the mortuary said, actually, we don't know, because the fire in the house that the Hamas lit was so intense in its heat, it could have been a young man's skull that was warped into a smaller size by the heat. So if Norman Finkelstein, practicing his Holocaust denialism in real time, actually wants to practice any of the academic pursuit he has spent his career not pursuing, then I would urge him to go, like I did, and see the body bags in the mortuary here and see what Hamas did that day. It is disgusting that Norman Finkelstein uses his late parents to defame Israel, to pretend that Israel are the Nazis in this situation. All societies produce sick individuals, but very few people have been produced who are quite as sick as Norman Finkelstein.
Would you ever debate with him?
I said to you, I refuse. I refuse for one straightforward reason, is that I know, and very, very few people I would say I don't debate with, but Norman Finkelstein is one of them. Most people I know in academia stopped having anything to do with him many decades ago, when he wrote his book, The Holocaust Industry, in 2000, claiming that the Jews were using the Holocaust to sort of make money from and so on. Most people wanted to be nowhere near such a fetid individual. I don't think he's somebody you can debate with, because I do not want to debate with a Holocaust denier in real time any more than I would debate with a Holocaust denier who was denying the last Holocaust. This was the biggest murder of Jews since the Holocaust, and shame on Norman Finkelstein for trying to pretend that that didn't happen or happened differently in real time. It's disgusting.
Douglas, as always, thank you very much indeed for your powerful contributions. I greatly appreciate it.
It says, okay. You can't debate someone who denies reality. It's even worse than debating flat Earth as well. Flat Earth was just oh, give me a break with the bullshit of flat Earth, you know. In regards to debating, in regards to, yeah, you know, why, in regards to debating, you just tell you know, just, you don't need to debate anything, I guess. You just need to tell what you think, right? You know? Yeah. Let's see what this is. Oh no, did we lost the...
That was Professor Norman Finkelstein. Listen to all that was Douglas Murray. Douglas,
I
your
guess I
response to
just
that
turned it
interview?
off. Oh, that was the same thing, I guess, in regards of... Of course, one of them is in Israel, I guess. That's the one that is responding. As this...
مجاهدين في منطقة لتوام شمال قطاع غزة يوم الثلاثاء أول أمس، حيث قامت ناقلة جند للعدو بإنزال مجموعة من الجنود في منطقة الكمين، فهاجمها مجاهدون من مسافة صفر بالقنابل والأسلحة الرشاشة، فقتلوا ما لا يقل عن 5 جنود صهاينة. وظهر أمس الأربعاء رصد مجاهدون قوة صهيونية تحاول تفجير أحد الأنفاق في تلة قليبو شمال مخيم جباليا، فقام مجاهدون بضربة استباقية لقوة العدو الراجلة، وذلك بتفخيخ عين النفق وتفجيره بالقوة المعادية وتحقيق إصابات مؤكدة فيها بقوة الله.
Well, I don't know if you have seen any hostages yet in regards to those. You say they would release like so and so many hostages, right? This is like 4 hours ago. I haven't seen anything in regards to those hostages yet, right? It should have been yesterday, right? And now, um, So, there we go.
من مسافة 0 بالقنابل والأسلحة الرشاشة.
Yeah, whatever. See you next one. Okay, that's a live stream, and we saw this one. And see here, that's like 15 hours ago.
Reading your piece in the Spectator this week, Douglas, about
From the from
young
Douglas,
of particularly this country, but of many other countries who have sort of joined in with this mass kind of hatred of Israel. There's more Palestinian marches being made through the streets of Britain over the course of this weekend. They're now saying, oh, well, this is not a ceasefire, so we're still going to march until we get a ceasefire. You've got some interesting things to say about that.
Yeah. Look, I mean, these people marched from the day after the Hamas atrocities of October the 7th. They literally marched before Israel had done anything in retaliation for the murder of 1,400 Israelis and the abduction of 246.
Yeah, I remember like the last, you also had people out supporting. Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Civilians and the stealing of them into Gaza in God knows what conditions. So these people who are marching on our streets in London and around the UK were doing this from the start. They don't actually care about the Palestinians. I'm very persuaded by this. I've covered a lot of conflicts, including in this region. There were no marches when Bashar al-Assad was massacring hundreds of thousands of Syrians. There were no marches of this size in the UK. There were no marches of this size in the UK when hundreds of thousands of Muslims were being killed in Yemen. These people, including the Muslims and including the doltish leftists and others who go along with this, they don't actually care about the Palestinians. What they hate is Israel defending itself. What they hate is the one Jewish state in the world defending its civilians. They believe that they don't have the right to do that. And if anyone thinks that if Israel somehow opened the borders of Gaza, that, by the way, Egypt also closes, that this would all be peaceful. Just look at what happened when 4,000 people flooded through the Gaza into Israel last month. I've seen too many of the sights of what they did myself by now. They carried out atrocities of a kind that we haven't seen since the Second World War. We haven't seen atrocities like this since Nazi Germany. And these guys were so happy when they were doing it. As they were massacring, we have the tapes, we have the evidence. By the way, we've already got Holocaust denial in real time. We have the tapes of the people who were being killed. We have their iPhone footage. We have the attackers' videos. They were doing GoPro as they were going around house to house. We have the first responders' videos. We have bodies in the morgue not far up from me still being worked on by forensic pathologists to try and work out which sex these bodies even were, who these people were in life, whether they were male or female, young or old. Why? Because the bodies were so badly decimated by Hamas that even now, 7 weeks later, the identities of some of the victims are not known.
And how dreadful is it to look back on the day itself and go into Gaza and watch as you see people demonstrating, cheering, shouting, spitting on the dead bodies of some of the victims as they were driven on the back of pickup trucks. Melanie Phillips wrote an interesting piece earlier this week, Douglas, or you probably saw it, in which she said, the secret that dare not speak its name is that there's an awful lot more people in Gaza and the West Bank who support Hamas than we know.
Oh yeah. I mean, people talk about this sort of idea, and it's a nice fiction that the Gaza is sort of ruled by Hamas, who of course were voted in by the Gazans in 2006, and of course never held another election. It's true that Hamas in Gaza has, among other things, tortured and killed their Fatah opponents and members of other Palestinian factions. In fact, Hamas has no particular love for the Palestinians either. If it did, it wouldn't have taken all the millions and billions of dollars of international aid that British taxpayers, among other things, sent them, and built tunnels underneath Gaza and then used it for their own wealth creation abroad and pumping it it in foreign bank accounts. Happy us, the British taxpayer, where our dollars went when they went to Gaza. But yes, I mean, it's astonishing to me to watch what is happening back home. I tell you this, Mike, this is the one thought I've had most since this all started was I'm pretty confident that, and having been in Gaza with the IDF embedded with them, I'm pretty confident that Israel knows what it needs to do to protect its civilians, its citizens. What I wonder here tonight in Israel is that the case back home? As I look at the scenes in Ireland tonight, with riots in the streets after this terrible stabbing earlier, does Ireland know how to defend itself? When I look at scenes like those in London, where we see disgusting young men and women praising a terror organization, and even the people who praise a group that massacred young people at the kind of dance festival they themselves would go to happily in a normal day. When I see that, I wonder, does Britain know what it needs to do to defend itself? I wonder. Yeah. I'm not so worried about Israel at the moment. I think Israel can defend itself. I'm worried about Britain. Can we?
Well, wait until you see what we've got later on in the show, which is a series of footage, pieces of footage from various mosques up and down the country, where openly it is being said that we should go out and kill Jews indiscriminately, kill Zionists, quoting from the Quran, talking about, let them come out behind the Jew and kill him. Unbelievable stuff being said right out there in the open. They're not even pretending anymore.
No. That's, by the way, that last quote is a hadith from Islamic scripture, and it points to one of the sources of the problem. It's very, very deeply embedded, this anti-Semitism that we're seeing at the moment. But no, I mean, the situation we have in Britain, I mean, Mike, what are we going to do about these people? Do we really want to live with Hamas supporters in the UK? We have them. There are people like Mohammed Sawalha, who lives in North London, in a flat he mysteriously managed to buy with a lot of cash the other year. Britain gave him the ability to remain in the UK. You're meant to sign a form when you become a British citizen saying you're a person of good character. We knew that he was a Hamas commander, Mohammed Sawalha, when he became a British citizen. How can a Hamas commander be a person of good standing? This is something that the British government needs to address. He should go. We should not want to be in the same country as him.
No, you're absolutely right. And he even came in on a fake passport. Douglas, fantastic to talk to you.
Yeah, reporting the problems, that's what the Jesuits loves to do. So we can have conflict and things moving as they want. As being the devil's children. It should have turned around now, but I guess the one camera software doesn't work in regards to things, Oh well, I think I'll stop it for now. May Jehovah be with you and Yeshua, most precious pearl.